What's up, good people? Welcome back to another episode of Undrafted Views. We're here. We talk sports from the sidelines. And today we're going to talk about the Golden State Warriors and what's going on with their season so far. Let's get into it.
The Golden State Warriors are currently 22-20 on the season, finally cracked the 500 phase. I was a little concerned because we are getting really close to the end of the season. And is this the year that Steve Kerr really has to coach? Are we going to find out how good he can mix and match his roster?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Think about it. So far this season, he has not had a starting five lineup that has been consistently there for a stretch of games. I mean, we're talking about Draymond being out. Steph Curry has been out for a few times, and he's currently out because of a tailbone contusion. We have James Wiseman, who's been in and out of the starting lineup for various reasons, one for rest, now for health and safety protocols. Eric Paschall is not even playing. I mean, we can go on. They don't have a Klay. I mean, so this is, for me, Kerr, and everybody else that's watching the Warriors, his time to really prove that he's actually a coach that can get the job done in spite of. Think about other teams that has been had to barely make it, scrap to get to the playoffs, miss the playoffs because they've had so much inconsistency in their starting lineup and also in their bench. And when the Golden State Warriors were like high and doing their best, they were sitting back, and the questions he had to answer was like, "Oh yeah, he's got to fix a little something." It wasn't really intense. Now he got to try to answer questions on why your roster is not doing well, what's going on with how they're playing in the game.
Yeah.
Welcome to the league.
Welcome. Because this is what other teams have had to deal with for many years.
Yes.
I don't want to put too much pressure on Steve Kerr because a lot of it has to do with the actual players, right? Are you ready to stand up and step up to, fill in some of the gaps? Now, I can say Andrew Wiggins has found a little something and took his game to another level.
He has, right? However, is it sustainable? So he gives me I know I have it. You guys saw me because I was drafted number one, but sometimes I don't know if I want to give it to you. That's kind of that's what I get from Wiggins. So when he is able to be on and drop a 40 piece on a game against the Grizzlies, I want you to try to do that every time. But it also leads me to believe, is him and Steph Curry a great match?
Oh, in the backcourt.
Right. And is Curry potentially a bottleneck for Wiggins to be able to display his full ability? I don't know. It's just a question.
Well, the truth is, Steph Curry demands the ball.
Of course.
And he's their greatest shooter. He should have the ball. Okay. And a lot of times, players are probably standing around, watching Steph as opposed to trying to, get in position to get their own shot. Andrew Wiggins was the man when he played, when he was drafted, and to come to the Warriors where he's not necessarily the second option. I don't even know where does he fall, would you say, in terms of the hierarchy, in terms of getting the ball? Is he their second option, third?
I think he really is a stand-in option. No, I'm not even playing. He is there because Klay is not. I really believe that. And sometimes I'm wondering if he feels that way. I mean, they may not say it in the locker room, but do he really know that I'm only here because Klay is not? And once Klay comes back, I'm gone?
Basically, it's true. It's the truth. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know. So I don't know. I really think the second option is Draymond Green.
But Draymond don't give you any points, though.
Yeah, but he can give you some assists. Oh, he can set you up.
Yeah, he can.
He can do a double-digit assist night easy. And when he does that, the team does very well. So, he could be the second option. Sometimes we think about the second option always as in the top scorer. We may have to revisit that when it comes to the Warriors because that Draymond Green, he can set you up for a shot.
Yeah, and the fact that they play positionless basketball, because really, should Draymond be handling the point essentially? Should Draymond be bringing the ball up? No, he shouldn't be. He's a power forward, right?
Or center.
Hey.
I'm just saying, sometimes they use him in that spot as well, the number 5. So, again, I think the number 2 spot looks a little bit different when we're talking about the Golden State Warriors.
And in any given night, Kelly Oubre might decide to go off as he has before.
But see, that's the difficulties of the Golden State Warriors roster. They can go off. No, I'm gonna need you to always go off if you think we're gonna go deep in these playoff runs. And it's not enough for me. It's not consistent enough for me to feel really confident that they will be able to sustain a long playoff run for the conference title.
Right. You know, they have to get consistent pieces in the starting five. I think that is paramount. You know, now that Steph has been out with his tailbone contusion, there has been a pool party in Golden State.
Pool party. That's funny. But he's balling.
Yes. Jordan Poole has been, subbing in quite nicely in Steph's absence.
He really has. And it's so funny. It took him going to the G League for the month of February to come out of that and now join back to the Golden State Warriors roster and ball out. Sometimes, you know what though, but that is so great that the Golden State Warriors coaching staff saw the need, trusted him enough in his ability that if he just developed it a little bit more, we know that he can bring something special because this is his second season, right? On the Golden State Warrior team. So that's amazing. That's what the G League is for?
Yes. There's nothing wrong with it.
Teams need to utilize it more in that. And he was only gone for the month of February. He was there in January. I don't know what that was in January. He could have got waived. It wasn't really good, right? Came back in March alone because February, if you think about it, January was really a bust for him.
Yeah.
February, he did not play. He played for the G League. And then in March, that's where we see his biggest improvement, right? And so in the month of March, his average is 19 points, 1 rebound, and 2.2 assists.
And how many minutes?
20. Wow.
Yeah. There has been a pool party ever since. There's nothing wrong with taking one step back and moving 2 steps forward. And that's essentially what he has done.
Exactly what he did. It's amazing.
I think when Steph Curry is on the court, there is a level of intimidation for a lot of the other teammates because they know that it's his team. And it's like, okay, well, should I be shooting the ball or should I be passing it to him? You know?
But what you're mentioning, I can see why that would be something that the other players on the Golden State Warriors would be challenged with because they don't know. I don't know if the culture has been set where, yes, Steph Curry is the man. Absolutely. The man is shooting from the logo. Why wouldn't he? How do you get your other players involved where it is okay for them too? And I don't know if it's okay for them because when he's not in the game, sometimes they show up. When he's in the game, they show up, but it's so inconsistent that I don't know if they understand if the culture of the Golden State Warriors is clear on what the team individual players should look like when they're playing with Steph.
Interesting.
Draymond Green knows his role, got it. He gonna do what he gonna do because he's been there. He's been working with Steph for years.
Right.
I don't know. It's just something to think about.
Yeah. And, it could be that Draymond has decided to sacrifice his point production to just be an assist man and set everyone else up because his averages are way down. And that's unlike him. So maybe that's part of it as well.
Yeah, but he's figured out his role over time. We're asking Wiggins, Oubre, Poole, Wiseman, and all the other guys, what is that specifically for them?
Right.
That is what I'm missing. And I think once they've identified what that looks like as Steph Curry continues to shine, I don't know if there was this confusion when Klay was on the court.
It wasn't because I think Klay and Steph had an agreement. They're both the Splash Brothers. Hey, I'm going to light it up. You're going to light it up. We're going to do it together. And Klay just brings a certain level of intensity. Yeah. I cannot wait for Klay to get back.
And what Klay has that Steph didn't have was Klay had defense.
Yes, he's a two-way, definitely.
Yes. So I don't know what that looks like for the guys that are currently on the roster and how they will be able to identify what their roles are, in particular when Steph Curry's on the court, and how they can help blend his need for the ball, his need to be the man who can shoot from the logo, all the great things that Steph Curry brings to the game, and still find their way to impact the game is interesting for me.
Okay. Now the playoffs are coming up and they don't have a lot of time to figure that thing out. So, when you talk about the play-in tournament, How do you think the Golden State Warriors will match up to who it looks like they'll be playing, which we've already determined will probably be the Spurs, the Grizz, and even the Dallas Mavericks?
I believe they can do it. I believe that the Golden State Warriors will be able to come out of the play-in tournament in maybe a number 8 spot. And I only say number 8 because right now, as it stands, the Golden State Warriors are number 9 in the West.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're number 9 in the West, that means you will be playing the 9-10 game, right? Mm-hmm. So right now, if all of that is true, I do believe they can beat the Spurs in a 1 game. Yes. Yeah. I believe they can beat the Mavericks because I don't know what's going on with them this season. I can't even believe the Mavericks are even below 6, to be honest. But they can most definitely beat them. And then the Grizzlies, they've proven they can beat them in their most recent game. And even if they happen to lose the other game, we're talking about, I believe they can do it. And they actually beat the Grizzlies without Steph on the court. So
I know. So yeah. So with him, it's a guarantee win.
Exactly. So exactly. So can the Golden State Warriors make it out of the play-in tournament? Yes. Confirm yes for me. Yes. Mm-hmm. What about you?
Well, I think they can definitely make it out of the play-in. My concern is what happens after. Once they're solidified at number 8, how do they match up against the Phoenix Suns or the Los Angeles Lakers or the LA Clippers for that matter?
No. I'm sorry. Because if they're number 8 and if the Jazz stay at number 1, they'll be playing the Jazz. However, we're talking about right now in the standings. If the play-in postseason was to happen right now, right, and the play-in tournament began tomorrow, they will be playing against the Utah Jazz in the 7-game series.
They can't match up to them. And the biggest problem will be the center spot. Rudy will have a field day.
In 7 games. Can the Warriors beat maybe 1 or 2? Yes. But we're talking about 7. Something about the 7 games is a different beast than when they play them periodically during the regular season.
Oh, yeah. Because you can lock in on your competitor. You know, that's all I need to focus on is beating you. That's it. I don't have to worry about the next game. I'm focused on beating you for this series of games. Yeah.
But even if it wasn't the Utah Jazz, I do agree they cannot match up in the 7-game series against the Suns. As a matter of fact, they have not won any game against the Suns this regular season. And one of the games was postponed. So it ain't going to happen. And then I don't see them. And the Lakers, forget about it.
No, they
may be going. That's going to be a sweep for sure.
Yeah.
You may be able to get some fight out of the Clippers. You just may. Because if you can go strong in the beginning quarters of the Clippers, you can pretty much beat them, right? But from a 7-game series, I just don't know. No. So you're right. I think that even if the Golden State Warriors were to make it to the playoffs, they will be going home in round 1.
And that's too bad. Oh, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But hey, you know what? I got one thing to say. Klay is on his way back. He's already shooting jumpers.
Did you see the little clip? Oh, he was like, look at me.
Yeah.
And it was just like, oh my God.
I know. He is on his way back. So Klay to the rescue.
The next clip I want to see is how is Klay's mobility?
I think he'll be fine.
Because honestly, I hope he is. Because honestly, not anybody, but these players can shoot with no defender contending their spot. I mean, their shot. They can do that. Mm-hmm. When you get in the game, I hear it's different. So we'll see.
You hear it's different. Yeah, exactly. All right, you guys, we're going to wrap up this episode on the Golden State Warriors. Make sure you drop down any comments and let us know, hey, do you think Golden State can make it out of the play-in tournament or even out of the playoffs?
Make it out of the playoffs? Yes, round 1.
Oh my God. Thank you all for tuning in. We will see you guys on the next one. But until then,
peace,
y'all.